everyone! Today the video will be about how to choose schools to which you want to apply from whole list Caapid list. You can narrow down this list to 10 or 12 or 15 schools which you prefer and you're gonna apply, and I will try to help you with that. Obviously, if you're gonna apply to all of them and you have tons of money to pay, this is fine, but I don't know if this video might be helpful to you unless you get in like a lot of acceptances and then you want to narrow down and choose only one school. So this video is kind of for two categories of people: if you're applying and if you got accepted to multiple schools. If you're this like a person, congratulations. Anyway, I made a little table which has a list of determining factors. It's in the column, and on top I put the schools, like some random examples of the schools. You can make this list obviously longer, and I'm gonna show you all how do I categorize the schools. So first, I was gonna say the tuition cost is probably the most important factor. At least I don't know. I guess maybe for everyone, for most people. And I would write the tuition cost under each school. Then I would put the cost of living of each school. This is important too, because like different states has highly vary in cost of living, and it will add to your money budget. The next one is length of the program. The lengths vary like from, I'd say, 24 months to 30 months, and I guess it's up to you what school you prefer and what length to choose. Next one is distance from home. If you have a family in the United States, you obviously want to stay closer to them unless they can move with you and find a job in the area where your school is, so you can all live together, guys. What do I have next is length of the clinical certification course. This one I want to spend a little bit more time. Clinical certification course is some kind of pre-course. It's considered like continuing education course, which is not covered by FAFSA. If you are US citizen or green card holder, you need to know that ahead. I found out that like a month ago, and that was a big surprise to me. So it usually lasts from 3 to 6 months, and that's how you start your program. First 3 to 6 months, it depends upon the school. So when you're choosing the school, some schools don't have this clinical certification course. The next factor is the clinical exposure, and I divided it onto the length of the clinical exposure, the length of you spend in clinic kind of during your time in school, and the second one is flow of the patients. As you may know, some schools have, it's a little bit related to class sizes, or might not be related, but some schools have like higher flow of patients, some have less flow of patients. And maybe you don't need this high flow of patients if you already experienced dentist from your country. So, but you get to know about that, read about the school and know the patient flow and choose accordingly the school. The next one is class size. Class size, some schools have large class sizes, like I guess the largest is Boston for now. Correct me if I'm wrong, it accepts 100 candidates. And some schools, they have integrated programs, and they have smaller class sizes, like 6 or even 4 students they accept each year. And in most cases, if the class size is small, you get integrated with the American dental students. I know the large class sizes that they often have a separate program that is made particular for international students. The next thing is school name, and here I wanted to explain my kind of opinion about that. I think this is a big myth about the school name in the United States, that it helps you somehow if you graduate dental school with the cool name or with recognized name, let's say that way, that everyone knows, it might help you to get into the residency. This is, guys, I would say this is not true. Not true. I saw so many people who got in the residencies in the most competitive ortho residencies from the very school names that I guess only dentists know these names. So in the United States, the schools, they're all very good, especially the dental schools. Like dental educations, like they get to be accredited, and they all have exceptional kind of, they provide exceptional knowledge, and they're all very good. So I would not consider this factor significant, the school name, because it's not that important. It will not help you to get into residency. That's definitely true. So all dental schools are great in the United States. The only thing which kind of might help you a little bit, if you go to the school with them very well-known name, you always, when you start your own practice, you always put your diploma on the wall. I never been to the dentist where I haven't seen him or her putting the diploma on the wall. And it always says in which school he went or she went, obviously, right? And if this school is well known, the patient will be, oh yeah, this doctor went like somewhere, like she knows, I don't know, some Columbia or some fancy name school, and it might bring, I don't know, just more comfort to the patient that he knows or she knows the school where the dentist went, but nothing more than that. Kind of one important factor I want to talk to you when you're choosing the school is, which school did you like the most? In this case, I am talking about people who already got accepted. This is not when you, obviously, when you're deciding to which to apply, you don't know. Or maybe you do still, maybe you've been in that school, so you might know too. But anyway, during interviews, if you had like 2 or multiple interviews, you definitely sometimes feel with your heart, this is my school, I feel so welcomed here, it's so nice, or I don't know, you like something in particular. So that is also determining factor, right? And the last is what I put in my list is weather. Weather, obviously, I don't know if you're used to the cold climate, this is one thing, or if you're not used to the cold climate, this is a different thing. Or whatever you, maybe you have some health conditions, or whatever you prefer for the weather, you obviously have to consider, because you're gonna spend in this city or town where your school is next 2 years, and I would consider the weather as well. This is all, guys. As I mentioned, you can play, oh, I don't think, maybe I didn't mention, you can take this list, you can upload it in Excel, and you can create a decision matrix. Instead of putting here the actual what is going on answers to these questions, you can categorize that by like from 1 to 5, and then create another table, and you can make a graph, or you can just analyze the data in Excel the way you want, and it will provide you the logical answers. So you will not have to keep in your mind all these schools with all these criteria. You will have your answers on the computer. That helped me a lot. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you like it. Subscribe to my channel. See you soon, guys. Bye.